Good morning. How is everyone? Hope everybody had a nice Easter. I suppose ours was nice enough. We didn't do much. Yeah. Good morning, Sandy.
I'm back.
Tom, Tom's back from his tea making journey. I went
Yep.
live, Tom.
Okay, I saw that. I see the little live square in the corner. Okay.
All right.
Good morning. How was everybody this morning?
Well, aren't you just a bundle of sunshine and rainbows?
Well, I just had to switch on my happy mood.
Happy mood on. Yeah.
So, what's with the stack of 20s over there?
I just wanted to talk a little bit today about cash, cash money, dollar bills. So I just got out what I had in my billfold,
Yeah, it looks like I got about $300. Is that 100 back
showing
there in the back?
to, yeah, that's 100. No, it's a one. No, let's say all 20s. 20, 40, 60, 80, 1, 20, 40, 60, 80, 181. Yeah, that's a month's salary right there. Good morning, Mr. Sadie. Good morning, Anissa. Good morning, Mateo. Good morning,
Okay.
Diane. Good morning, John. Good morning, James. James is first. He beat Bumcrack Picker. Haven't seen Bumcrack in a few days. I guess he's okay, or we would have
He's
heard something.
he's in the chat.
Oh, he's over there.
Yeah, he says, "Oh, I forgot it was Monday."
Oh, hey, Bumcrack. He is here. Yeah. So I don't know. We far enough in to start the topic.
If you want to, it's your show.
It's not a big topic. It's just something I thought we would talk about. Because I'm curious what y'all think. Yeah.
Okay.
We had a plain Jane Easter. Gwen made a roast and taters and stuff. That was good. Uh,
We ordered takeaway.
that's all right. That's better than starving. Cash. Yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about, Texas Bandit.
I actually should have starved, but go ahead and start on your cash
Well,
story.
I think we're headed toward a cashless society. I don't think that's a good thing. Has everyone heard of the central bank digital currency? It's going to become reality, whether we like it or not, I'm afraid.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it's in Revelations. We're all going to have the mark of the beast, whether it's digital or whatever. No, I'm not giving out cash. This is mine, and you keep your grubby paws off, Carol. But I think my point is, if we don't use it, we lose it. So, and then if we don't use it, things are actually more expensive. I mean, you take your little debit card. For how many things do you use your debit card? Like
Everything.
everything. I know that lag hasn't used cash in 10 years, but the banks charge the businesses we use 1.5 to 3% to use their bank debit card. So the grocer, the post office, whoever, they're going to pass that 1.5 to 3% on to us. And so that's for every transaction. By the time this $20 bill gets used 10 times, that's it's now worth less than the $20 bill, or less than $20 we used if we buy stuff with a debit card. There's a lot of ways we're getting robbed. Do we even realize it, you know? I know, James, there's certain things that you just cannot use cash for, and so the next best alternative then would be the good old paper checks. You know, when I buy silver or gold online, most of the bullion dealers have the option of using a cashier check or a paper check. And so they charge less for those coins. Yeah, checks. You remember those. So if I'm making a purchase from APMEX Precious Metals or whatever, I send them a check. Yeah, it takes 3 or 4 more days to get the product. But if I buy the gold and silver at the right time. So I don't know. What do y'all think about that? And now they're coming out with what they call Fed Now. Tom, have you looked into Fed Now?
No, I haven't.
All cash is going to be turned into Fed Now money, where the government can track every purchase you make. And banks will be forced to adopt it, and all government agencies are going to be forced to join it. And they're inviting people to join in now. It's the latest, greatest thing. Instant paying. And there it is. There's the website. Get on board with the FedNow service. Instant payments.
So are they going to be doing away with banks?
Well,
it's like Venmo.
God, Roberta said it's like Venmo.
It's all going to revert to the feds.
It's an instant pay system. No.
You joined it, Lag? I knew you were anti-American. I'm kidding. I think we ought to fight against this thing. Do I want the feds to know every purchase I make? Do I really want that? Even if
who's allowing it?
Huh?
Who is allowing it?
Who's allowing it?
Yeah.
Your federal government is allowing it.
So our senators and our congressmen are allowing it
Yeah.
because Congress ultimately has the authority to say no.
Yeah. And they're just nipping away at the old cash. Little chunks at a time. So just like boiling a frog. It's happening to us a little bit at a time. Pretty soon cash is going to be gone. They're not just going to do away with they're not just going to stop minting pennies like Canada did a few years ago. They're going to do away with all cash.
Mm-hmm. Because that's what the law that
Yeah.
said.
That's exactly how I feel. This is getting rammed down our throats, and I don't want to see it. I don't want, when somebody comes to my garage sale, I don't want them to hold out a FedNow card and say, "You take this or I ain't buying it." Well, I guess you're not buying it. Maybe I can hold out till I'm dead. I'm old. Yeah. For right now, you can still walk into a coin shop and hand them cash, and they hand you the gold or silver. For right now, and that's anonymous. My local coin shop says, "Do you want a receipt?" I can see if you don't want a receipt because you don't want it tracked. So that's another good reason to own gold and silver is it can be anonymous if you want it to.
He needs to see. He needs to watch.
Basically, what you're saying soon, it will all bend over and let Uncle Sam take over. Yes?
Roberta says you need to watch the
KWAK.
KWAK brothers.
I don't know how to pronounce it.
It's either Quack or Quake.
He needs. They go through all of this stuff from the World Economic Forum and the money reset and stuff like that.
Did you hear what she said?
Yes.
They do a really good job explaining of what the World Economic Forum wants and how nations have agreed to do it. The site's called Quack Brothers Freedom Files.
And the Federal Reserve is actually not part of our government.
Nope.
And it doesn't. I can take a check from a banking institution, a different banking institution to my bank, deposit it, and they will hold it for a day or two to make sure it's all good. I don't know if that's just a safety clause or whatever that the banks do, but that should be instantaneous. When you make a deposit to your bank, it should be ready to roll the instant you pass it over to the teller.
Well, that's Fed now, according to my beautiful wife.
That's the reason.
But you know, it's something that you can make a purchase with your debit card and it comes out immediately. Yet if they have to refund you the money, most of the time it gets hung up for a couple of days at your bank.
Right. Yeah, Sadie, it is going to be very, very hard to remove all cash, but that's why they're doing it one chunk at a time. They're just nipping at our heels. You know, use your debit card, pay an extra 3% for your goods. Whereas if you pay for it in cash, if the business is still going to charge the 3% by raising their product price, at least the business gets a 3% break.
Right.
You know.
But then they have to hire skilled workers who know how to count money.
Yeah.
So,
You have to, stores will have to hire people that can actually count money.
And be trusted with cash.
they got a machine. The checkout machines take cash now at Walmart
Yeah. Have you been
and at
to,
Home
I don't know, but
Depot.
I don't know about y'all, but our 7-Elevens now have self checkout. You just set the items on a square area, and I guess it's got a scale in it built into it.
Yeah.
It scans the items and tells you how much you owe, and you just stick if you're using cash, you just stick the bills into the machine.
Yeah. I think our Dollar General self checkout also has a place to put bills in. I haven't used it, but that's true, Cindy. We're pretty much cashless already.
And that's because we've just gradually got in the habit of using nothing but cash. I go to the grocery store, I use my debit card. I get gas.
People are lazy by nature, and they don't want to have to think about how much they're spending. They want to stick the card out. It's unseen. You
Yeah.
don't have to you don't have to take responsibility for spending $100 on something stupid. You just stick your card out and there it is. You don't see the $100 bill go away.
Yeah. And that's
Right.
one of the things that Dave Ramsey talks about when you're trying to get yourself under financial control is not to use your debit card, because you really don't see the money going out of your pocket, that you need to use cash. So every time you spend something, you have actually, you physically have less cash in your wallet or your pocket or your purse.
That's true. But now I'm not espousing just taking all your money and putting into cash, because at that point, uh, you're tied into what inflation is going to give you. So, what are we at now? 6% a year inflation, according to what they say.
Right.
So, I'm not saying that we should all just take out all of our money and put it into just bills, because you're going to lose value. But for day-to-day spending, I think it's a good deal to use cash. If you don't use it, you're going to lose it. It's like everything else.
Right. I was going into a department store, grocery store, whatever. The little Girl Scouts were outside selling their cookies. And I said, "Sweetheart, I'm sorry, I don't have any cash." And she whipped out her phone and she says, "We can take debits."
Yep.
The Girl Scouts.
Yep. And I guarantee you they've marked those cookies up 3% so that they can pay debit card charges.
But
So we have a group of local businesses here. I was talking to a local business owner about this. I said, it's actually a liquor store. So I was buying a bottle of booze. I said, do you have the same price for cash as you do a debit card? And he said, yes. He said, we absorb that cost. But then I said, how much do you pay the bank to use debit cards? He said, well, the different ones charge different amounts, but between 1.5% and 3%. So I'm like, you just absorb that cost? He said, well, we work on margins. So we set our product prices according to be able to make this much money a month or whatever, or this much money per product. So yes, whether you admitted it or not, I'm getting charged 3% for his product, even if I do use cash. But if I use cash, I'm saving him the 3%, so he likes that, of course, probably. A lot of businesses, especially local ones, are they like it when you use cash. Yeah, James, all buyers absorb that 3% cost.
Well,
But if everybody at that store used cash, nobody used a debit card, then the price of his products would come down 3%. If he's
alleged,
actually going to try for the same margins as he did. You see what I'm saying? Our
right?
local tire shop, they actually show on their bill, if you use a debit card, there's an extra charge on your bill to get a set of tires or get a brake job or whatever else. In what way is cash dangerous? Because somebody will clunk you on the head and take it? I suppose that's still a thing, maybe.
Um, my brother doesn't take credit cards at his business either, debit cards. Which most of he's in the land surveying business. Most of his is paid at closing. So he gets a check from an attorney who hopefully is
Yeah, it's the banks who issue the debit cards. It's one of their main ways of making money now, is charging businesses a percent to accept their cards.
And let's go over to the yard sellers, the flea marketeers. They're used to dealing in cash. And we are supposed to, by federal law, to declare all our income and pay taxes accordingly. So let me throw that out there. But that don't happen. And now all of these flea market people are going to have some means to accept these cards. Yeah, Diane. Diane says time to meet the company to invest in the companies that will retrofit, coin op laundromats. Well, yeah and no. There's already there's a lot of laundromats that are not coin based anymore. They're the little cards. You go over to a machine. You either stick the currency in there that you want credit to do your card, or use your debit card,
Yeah,
and then you use that card to pay for um, all your washing and drying.
yeah. Our over in the big town, there's a pretty big car wash, self-serve car wash, and you go up and put cash in the machine, you get tokens, and you go spend those in the
Right.
if you want to wash or dry or whatever.
Because laundromats are the most audited business in the United States. And they go back and look at how much water you used and what your power bill was, and then look at how much cash you brought in. And it should all be in the same ballpark, if that makes any sense to y'all. But I was watching a guy on YouTube that has laundromats, and about every 3 years he gets audited.
No, 24K. I've never tried to shove $1 million in my pockets. I don't think my pockets are that big.
Oh, you just put 2 or 3 of them watches that he wears in his pocket. He's got $1 million in there.
There you go. He'll tell you flat out that the easiest way to take take value over international travel is to strap on a Rolex watch and then sell it when you get there.
Yeah, that was one of the things about cruising. You can go into, not once did anybody ask me to fill out a form about how much cash I was taking out of the country. So, you could take hot cash and go into Bermuda and go to one of them watch shops and buy overpriced watches and stick them on your wrist, your kid's wrist, your wife's wrist, and walk back, get on the ship and come back into the country. And you could launder a lot of money that way, which is illegal. Let me say that. It's illegal to do that. And if you take more than $5,000 out of the country, you're supposed to declare it.
Is it 5,000? Is that the limit?
I think it's 5,000. If you take more than 5,000 out, you're supposed to declare it. I'm just saying,
Tell them.
Like, I don't know why you're obsessed with me being in. I have been to Russia. My oldest son was born in Russia. I am not Russian. I am from Horry County, South Carolina. $50K and 100s fills my jacket pocket. But I'm just saying, how much? Okay, and so you've got other people coming into the country. I mean, let's say you got other people coming into the Bahamas, and they're bringing stuff, whatever kind of stuff. I mean, it's easy for that crap to walk right back into the country because on these cruise ships, because nobody is asking you to fill out these forms. There's no declaration forms. And
You can lie on the form.
yeah, you can, like Roberta says, you can lie on the form, which we would never do because we have traveled out of the country with a lot of cash. When we were doing the adoptions for the boys. And so it was, I'm just saying, it's, yeah, when Todd started bringing up the liquor store, that Cindy, that pint of liquor will be worth a lot of daggone money. You'd be divvying it out. I got a dozen eggs. Well, here's you a half a shot of vodka. There you go. Yeah, bartering will be popular again.
I love bartering. If you can trade it, that's a good thing. No records, no nobody looking over your shoulder.
Yeah. What kind of money are we talking about that AP Royal Oak 39 thin? 24K? If I may ask, if you don't want to declare that, I mean, say that's fine. 78 paid with it.
That's it's a watch.
Yeah, I knew it was a watch. I figured it was a watch since that's all he buys. 78,000. Woo! He's probably got that black Amex card too.
Yeah, if you watch the big poker tournaments, they dump all that cash out on the table. And like $7 million is like piled. It's a pile. And it's all hundreds. They throw out bricks of $100.
Yeah.
Even packed tight. That's a chunk of.
That's the problem. They made me unpack it.
How much is a brick? 10K? No, 100K?
The Beard's in the audience. Throw the link out there because he's got some comments.
What was the brick that a young football player brought out that one time. Played for Texas or somebody. He was just chew, 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 chew. Like, what a
You know,
moron.
this is being silly, but Monique and Shantae down at the strip club. What are they? You gonna start throwing debit cards at them, cash cards at them? Have to go out and get gift cards, and that's what they're sticking in their G strings.
No, they'll put one of those little square things in between their boobs and bend over and let you scan.
There's the link if anybody else wants to come in and be freaky.
My wife, ever the business person, she says no. They'll have one of those little square swipers, you know, where you can do debit cards stuck in there between their boobs. So they'll just lean over and you swipe it.
Yep. But yeah, I think the younger you are, the less you use cash too. I don't think my boys have used cash. They don't even carry any. I need to encourage them to use cash too. Because if we don't, it's all going to go away.
Okay, Felix. But yeah, you know, it was. I think it was.
Yeah, they're going to have a card scanner in their ass crack at a strip club.
Yeah. No, totally. You made me laugh, and I forgot it. I forgot what I was gonna say.
Tossing eggs to them.
Oh, Tara and Jim were in a fast food place one night, and Tara said that there was two teenage boys in front of them, and she said one of them looked at his phone and said, "Oh, my Amazon money dropped," and he said, "Now I can pay for lunch." I mean, you're right. People just, especially kids, they don't know what it is to handle cash.
That's the reason they're so entitled. They don't realize.
Yeah, my boys, they're in their 30s now, so they don't use cash. I'm like,
I think if everybody would be better off if they started the month off with X amount of money, and that's when you're done spending when you get to the end of the cash, which is the way it used to be.
hey, Love Taco.
All right, y'all started this stripper mess. So I was on TikTok the other night, and the guy said, and the comedian said, if you weren't supposed to eat a woman down there, it wouldn't be shaped like a taco.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Oh,
uh,
Oh my God.
I'm like, yeah, that's funny.
okay. Roberta just gave you one little black tick mark. When you get to 5, you're going to be on her bad list.
I had to say that to Harlan. It was so funny.
Where are you headed this early in the morning?
I just finished the auction. We get there at 7 o'clock. Back to the house.
Cool.
How
many items did you drop off at the auction?
52, something like that.
Cool.
It was 44 last week. It sold $630 or something.
I wish we had a local place like that. Now, I could drop off stuff at the auction place I buy from, but I never have. I don't know why I don't.
Yeah, if you're going to drive all the way down there, you might as well take something with you.
Yeah.
Do you think you could make that into a permanent income stream, a sizable income stream, if you really worked at it, or you think it'd be too much work to
Well,
rent?
You got to have bigger margins at mine because they charge 30% to the consigner.
Yeah, we get charged 30% too, but most of the stuff I take is yard sale stuff, so there's tons of margin already.
Yeah, if you got enough margin built in, that's a good thing. Like if I pick up something at a garage sale that's big, it would be much better to take it to the auction house
Yeah,
and
even
sell it
stuff like
there.
we did half price at one of the estate sales Friday, and I've got like 8 or 9 lots from there, the half price stuff.
But like, you go to garage sales, and about every time you're out, you'll see at least one microwave. And I don't want to ship a microwave on eBay. So that'd be a perfect example of something that should go to an auction house.
I do have a microwave I need to list today. It's they made a series a few years ago that were like retro looking microwaves,
Yeah.
and I think it's worth about 100 and a quarter on eBay. I need to get it listed. It's like a mint green, and it's got that older looking front on it.
Right.
Yeah, that nostalgia brand that's real popular. You know, they make Coke stuff and
Still bad, huh?
other items like that.
They are bringing back, like the 50s green rounded edge refrigerators and freezers and all those appliances. There's a line of those out now that comes in some really crazy ass colors. And they seem to be selling really, really well.
Man, Harlan and I went to an estate sale last year, the year before, and the kitchen had a fully intact one of those where when you open up the drawers, there were shelves, metal shelves in the drawers, um, and they sold the house, but they sold the kitchen separate
Wow.
because the person who or the person buying the house didn't want the kitchen or something, or they worked it out some way, but
Right.
that stuff was so freaking popular that they got quite a bit of money for the kitchen.
The kitchen might have been worth more than the whole house.
Okay, I'm back. Had to go kiss an angel good morning. Yeah, she my lover.
But getting rid of the cashless world, a lot of the wait staff back when they were talking about going to a $15 minimum, hourly wage, a lot of the wait staff didn't want it because they made a lot more money off of tips.
Call from Comfort Monster.
Let me grab this.
24K, somebody is paying for all that free stuff you're getting.
Yeah, they didn't report everything. You just wonder what does it do to flea markets and yard sales and all that stuff, and how much will people go back to bartering and not using money trading goods and services for?
That would be great. I would encourage that.
Yeah, I think until Generation X clears, I think it's the generation behind me that would accept cashless. I don't think my generation would accept it.
But they're doing it to us bit by bit. We don't even hardly see it coming.
No, it's a slow fade for sure.
When I got a slow memory, when they first started debit cards, what, 25, 30, 40 years ago, whatever it was, were they charging the businesses a fee to use their debit cards? I don't know. Just like right when they first started it up.
I mean, it's a good even if the business cost them a little money, it's a good thing because they save money on not having to process cash. Just like a restaurant that I used to run, how much time we spent counting money and taking money to the bank and counting tills. It was crazy.
Well, that's what the banker. One time I was asking our banker, she's standing at the door saying, "Good morning. How are you today? What can we do for you?" Blah blah blah. And I said, we chatted for a minute, and I asked her. I said, there's been a lot of talk about people going to nothing but cash. How will that affect your business? And she said, it will drive our business crazy. She said,
Yeah.
we don't have staff to count money. And when you got millions of dollars worth of cash coming through a business every day, you've got to count it, and you've got to wrap it and stack it and roll it, and it's all has to be checked. And she said,
Oh,
used to be banks had a person that's a vice president in that branch that's all they did was, or assistant branch manager, that's all they did was handle the cash coming in and going. She said it would be very expensive for the banks.
Sadie, that's the original deal with banks. We all knew that when we deposited money with them, they were going to use it to give out loans. So,
how
that
many
was the
branches do
original
they?
bank. That's the only way they used to make money.
How many branches they need just to loan out money when there's no cash? You don't have any reason to go there.
Right. You just walk up to the screen and shove your card in.
I don't know. I go through an ATM. I can't remember last time I went inside a bank. You can deposit checks on your phone. I don't ever go to the bank.
Yeah, but Todd has to go in there because the branch manager always says, "Have a seat, Todd, and let's have a cup of coffee and see how I can help you with all your millions you got."
Well, you know that experience because they're like, we're glad to meet one of our owners. Come on in, Tom.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, when if you walk in and you buy a car, and immediately they go into that financing mode. If you got the cash in the bank, yeah, that when Roberta bought her car, we were whether she wanted to go ahead and pay for it or she wanted to pay a few years, pay a year on it or whatever, and she put down a big down payment on that thing, and they were just, "Are you sure you want to do this? You can
invest that money and make more on it.
Yeah, you can make
Hi, Mike.
you can make more money off of your investments." I think there's one thing that people need to realize, that there's a thing called peace of mind that is a lot more important than your return on investment.
Well,
Because
they're only saying that because you're killing their biggest income on the car.
Yeah.
The point spread on the loan.
Yeah.
We're talking cash, Harry. If we don't use it, we lose it.
People, if you can go to bed at night because you got 6 months worth of groceries in the living stacked up in the living room, and you don't have any bills except your utilities, and you're like your car insurance and that kind of stuff, you can sleep a lot better with all the crap that's going on.
So, in Great Britain, their parliament is meeting to debate forcing businesses to accept cash. I would think, I would hope that passed if they're considering like a bill or something.
Prime Minister got in to bring in the digital currency. That's his job. That's the other reason he's there. The girls stepped down so that he can do that.
Yeah, but you just sit back and look. Can't imagine all the crap that is going on now. Even 20 years ago, that most of the stuff would even be a thought.
So, if we have central bank digital currency, what's that going to do to Bitcoin? It'll just kill it off, won't it?
No, people will. That's the alternative, and people are going to have to choose which one they operate. Right now, I think I mentioned on one of the shows, South Dakota, they had an ordinary bill going through. It was pitched by all the lobbyists as just the banking system and the banking stuff, just to bring it up to modern standards. And turns out, whenever the governor, her team started looking at it, it made central digital currency the only legal cyber coin, and she vetoed that damn thing. and it's currently in 25 separate houses in the United States. Half the country is considering a bill that would make the central digital currency the only cyber currency in the U.S. recognized.
Yeah, exactly.
Hmm.
Well, for a while, even Nancy, Scott's girlfriend Nancy, she was anti-Bitcoin because they couldn't. There was too much. There was no tracking of illegal funds and that kind of thing.
Okay, Scott, you froze.
There he is.
Oh, there he's back.
Yeah, I come through a spot. I had no internet.
Okay, silver and gold are taking a dump this morning. And
I'm trying
so
to
is the
decide, should I
stock
go to
market.
Walgreens and they're closing our Walgreens here. Publix owns the shopping center, and they've decided they want to do something else with it, so they didn't renew their lease. And
Well,
I
Publix
bet
has a pharmacy too.
half of the stores on clearance right now, so I need to go see what I can buy.
Yeah. But if they close them all down, that's one of your main sources, or it used to be, isn't it?
Well, that's just one branch.
It's just one. It's just this one branch.
Okay.
Because there's only two, in our area, there's only two pharmacies left, CVS and Walgreens, other than the ones that's inside of department stores, Walmart, Publix, Harris Teeter. I don't know whether Target has one or not.
Costco is generally the cheapest, so I use Costco anyway.
Do what?
Costco is generally the cheapest, so I use it.
Oh, what is it? It's because it took forever when Walgreens merged with the Revco stores here in North Carolina, South Carolina, that whole area. It took forever for them to get federal clearance on that.
Dang, Mateo, how old are you? You bought gold for $40? That hadn't happened since 1933. You must be old.
All right, ladies, y'all have a good day. I am going inside to scan Walgreens.
All righty.
All right, thanks for coming on, man.
I'm glad y'all got to see me. It was awesome.
All righty.
Yeah. You're as beautiful as you ever were.
That's terrible right there.
We bought gold when it was $9.90. Yeah, those days are gone.
Yeah, I'm surprised. There's this guy here in our area. He bought a piece of property that was just pretty much devastated by the gold mining. Because just so you know, the gold mine run in North Carolina and creeping into the edge of South Carolina was larger than the one in California. But that's, everything's about the old West and blah, 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 blah. Anyway, he bought a piece of property that was mined out. And he is now going in with the technology they have for extracting gold. He is going back in, and all he's doing is running tailings from, the 1800s. And allegedly, he's finding a lot of gold. He's not having to do any permits because he's not mining. He's just moving dirt around on his property. And because his intent is to replant it in trees once he gets it all leveled back. Like I said, it's pretty beat up. And I'm surprised more people are not doing that. Hell no. Mr. Sadie. Absolutely not. But then again, I think the cost, you know, my father-in-law and I used to watch Gold Rush. And, you know, at the end of the season, they had $1 billion worth of gold. Well, anybody that knows anything about the construction industry knows they spend a lot of money on fuel to keep them trucks running, and those pieces of equipment running, 18 hours a day for 3 months. I mean, there wasn't a lot of money left after that.
Yep. I enjoy that show.
I did too, but then it got just too freaking housewives of Southern California or whatever. You know what I mean? It just got too much BS
Well,
into it.
they got to do that for views.
Yeah.
If it's not dramatic, then several miners get in a little scuffle and roll around in the dirt a little bit. You gotta have that. A few F-bombs getting bleeped out. So, here you go. Tesla is opening a mega factory for huge batteries in China. Well, are they going to build them in China and then bring them over here?
Until China says we can.
Yeah. Roberta says until China says we can't. Mr. 24K has a very intellectual question there you need to put up on the screen.
Sorry. I'm way behind in the chat.
Okay. It's just about to the end. What's the difference between a gold miner and a gold digger?
One of them has a wet ass, and the other one has a cold ass.
I think he's implying that his wife's a gold digger.
Well, yeah, sometimes it works like that.
Whatever it takes to keep her.
Azure Blue. I bet Azure's got a whole lot to say about the topic, but we're already about done with it. There's no boobies on gold miners. There are on some. I've seen
there was
some
a
of the
couple of
shows
gold
women on them.
Yeah.
But they look kind of rough and tough. They aren't your typical beauty queens hanging out at the parlor getting the nails did.
Yeah, there was one season of Gold Rush that there was a girl running some heavy equipment. And she looked like she could whoop somebody's ass in a heartbeat.
I know. They all look like that to me. And Norwegian's daughter, she looks pretty tough.
I'm sorry, who was that?
Oh, the big time gold miner, the Norwegian guy.
They called him the Swede or something like that.
Something like that. But his daughter works for him, and she looks pretty strong and tough. In fact, she had a crew on one of the mines. It was her and 2 other women. I trade EXK as silver miner equity a few times a year.
Yeah, Harry. Tony was he has a very minor vocabulary. But you know that dredge that he had, I had a couple of postcards that were postmarked, and it had dredges on the front of them. And man, those things sold. Like I listed them, and they sold within 24 hours.
Lag, there were some gold stocks in one of my mutual fund portfolios that I had for a while, but I didn't buy gold stocks directly. There's ads though, YouTube ads about gold miners. Here, invest with us. They pop up on, when I'm watching YouTube videos, I get ads about investing in gold mining. Those women would whoop my backside. Harry, I don't think you're especially a easy pushover too. You're about 6'3", aren't you? And how big
Yeah.
a old boy are you? There you go. Whoop all she wants, as long as we're on a beach in the Maldives.
Well, you know, I was
Yeah,
watching. I was
Tony.
watching it. I was
Yeah,
watching this.
Tony.
Yeah, I was watching a show about the miners that were going to the Canadian front, and the people that made all the money was the people that had all the food and all the mining equipment and the hotels and places to stay. That's who made all the money, not the people that actually was doing the mining. Because a dollar hot dog would cost you $6. I'm just using that for an example, but
Yeah,
the support was what was making all the money, because the people would come in and pay in gold.
Caterpillar equipment. Yeah, they're the ones making the big bucks in the gold fields.
But you know, going back to Gold Rush, my father-in-law and I could not ever understand. A piece of equipment would break down, and it was going to take a week for a part to get to it. You know, the part they needed take a week to get to them. It just seemed like to us, it's like if the money would be in bringing a couple of parts of everything that goes on a bulldozer.
You
Because
think so, Mike?
you're gonna make your money back because somebody's gonna break something.
I'm not espousing that, Mike. The dollar could jump up, but I don't know. That's a gamble right there, in my opinion.
Well,
I mean, I encourage people to use cash, but I don't necessarily think we need to just stack it up. I mean, yeah, keep a certain percentage on hand, but yeah,
in a minute we're gonna see this feminine hand with green nails reach over and take that stack of money.
You're only 5'10", Harry? Man, looking at you in your little live shows, it looks like you're much taller than that. See, the ugly scares people away, does it? Does it, Harry? Funny.
It's
The dollar's in real trouble. Yep.
this is just my opinion. It's because we don't use the U.S. does not use its influence to really, because if we quit buying, there's a lot of countries that's going to go to hell because the Americans are not spending their dollars on their merch. China would go to hell in a handbasket quick because nobody's buying those $3 pieces of plastic and crap like that. It's already been proved back in 2008. Our economy went to hell, and the Europeans, everybody followed suit. So what's good for the U.S. is good for the world. because we spend more of our money on anything than anybody else does. That's my opinion. And I'm sure 24K disagrees, but you know, what the hell?
Yeah, China's been doing it to us for years.
Yeah.
That's why they're willing to take so many dollars in U.S. treasuries, is because America's a consumer nation.
Yeah. We don't manufacture. We're like the UK. UK used to be the largest producing country in the world, and now they import 80% of their stuff.
Yep. You can still buy a wool sweater or something there, but that's about it.
And there's always got to be a leader. Always. Because I hear too many people talking about the way they're working it now, where we're all teams, there's not really a leader. No, there's always got to be a leader, because when things go to hell, somebody's ass is going to get crawled on the carpet, or they're going to lose their job. So I just assume that the U.S. be first. They be the leader.
I think that goes without saying, Asher. It's horrible. What was it? The latest bill that came up had more than 7,000 pet projects, all of which are not necessary.
Gosh, there's a shocker.
7,000 pet projects.
I don't understand what the hell they do up there that demand so much time.
Because they negotiate all these little bills out. Well, if you'll build a road in Georgia, we'll donate to build your bridge in Delaware, and so on and so on and so on. It's all coming out of our tax dollars. Ugh.
Yeah, James Stauber, yeah, I agree with that. Unfortunately, there's some people that's not going to be able to ever afford the mansion or the Mercedes. And they're putting more emphasis on that than having a good quality of life.
We own Mexico now? No. Would we even want Mexico? If it was just donated to the U.S., would we want Mexico with all of its problems? Amen, Tom. Amen.
I saw that. I don't know what he's amening because I was on a roll there.
Yeah, you said about 12 things.
Yeah. Just on a lighter note, if anybody watches South Park, they did an episode recently where they were at Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. And
God, house prices are going up again over there. I think Cyber said he could sell his house for 10 times what he paid right now.
well, it's not like you'll have a lot of dirt over there in the UK. You got to go up, you know. That's what a guy told me a long time ago. He says, always buy dirt because they ain't making any more of it.
Well, and
unless
that's
you
not.
go, wait a minute, unless you go to like Dubai where they just start building islands over there.
That's not lost on baby boomers. They're buying up houses to rent them out. And so young guys like my sons, they can't even hardly think about affording a house, even though they both got a good sized down payment to chunk down. So even though those expensive houses are still getting bought,
Yeah.
and it's by people with money in the baby boomer generation.
Yeah.
People aren't I don't know who's going to buy houses after our baby boomer generation quits buying. Nobody will be able to afford any.
That's the point. They want people to live in cities because they want easy money. They're easy money.
Well, they want people to live in apartment complexes like in the big cities, So that means everybody be in the cities.
They don't want so much.
Yeah, 24K. I saw a video. One of the guys that lives on, I can't remember the name of the area now, but it's
Yeah.
not too far away from Buckingham.
Lag, this
And
is an antique. I'm investing in antiques right here.
yeah, his grandfather bought that house for near nothing, and it's worth like $48 million now.
Look what Lag says. I didn't know
Yeah,
Tom's
he's such
picture
an
was on it.
asshole. I swear.
Look at that. That is right there, Mr. Jefferson.
That's a Hux. That's not a Jefferson. That's Thomas Hux, not Thomas Jefferson.
Mr. Jefferson there has hair quite a bit like Tom's.
Not
I
this
never
morning,
noticed
right?
that. That's funny.
You love me, like that. Don't mean you're going in the wheel, or you're not going to get an allowance.
I remember you saying about 6 months ago, Azure, that stocks weren't through going down. We're fixing to crash more. So,
Supper, what part of the UK do you live in?
he's in the south. He's not. I bet he's maybe 50 miles from the south coast
Like,
where the English Channel is.
like Southampton area?
Azure's in the southeast, I think. Florida? Is that right? Georgia? Somewhere down there.
Yeah, I thought he was in. Azure was in Florida.
Hey, Passport. Are you new here? How you doing? Welcome to the show, where we'll talk about anything almost.
Yeah,
We'll even talk about how bad Tom's hair looks today.
it looks terrible. I swear it does.
I'm teasing.
No, it's because I've
He
been
looks
up
like
since 2 o'clock, up and down since 2 o'clock this morning.
Tom looks like Thomas Jefferson. Anyway,
I got to get me some of that daggum hair and tail. No, is it tail and mane shampoo, so I can get
tail
some
and
volume back into it. It's getting real thin up there. I'm starting to look like Todd and Scott.
you needed to grow your rat tail down the back. You know, that'd be cool.
That is so nasty. And of course, when that was a hot thing, every little 9-year-old boy in South Carolina had one of those things.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Andrew
beans and
Jackson.
rice will help you lose some weight.
Didn't Andrew own a stable of slaves? He did, didn't he? Yeah.
All of them did.
I don't think Lincoln ever had any slaves.
Good
Of
morning,
course,
Glenn.
he was a little later than Jefferson.
Yeah.
I don't think Ben Franklin ever had slaves, did he?
Well, he wasn't a president, was he?
Well, no. George Washington didn't he?
If you had all that land, I don't care what anybody says, if you had all the land that they say they had back in those days, they had slaves working it. Now, they might have been black slaves or they were white slaves, but they had, or Native American slaves, but they had slaves working it.
Hey, Silver New Jack, is that you? Cool. Yeah, man. Passport X. Did you put all your videos on Passport X? Hey, everybody meet Silver New Jack, formerly known as Silver New Jack, now Passport X. What a great guy. You talk about somebody who works a side hustle to make money for silver and gold. He's got it down to an art and a science. I don't know what he sells, but he's got something going on. Yeah, it's good to see you, man. He used to do videos of the new silver or gold he bought, and like 24K. Every one of them. He would, at the end of showing it, he would go, "Look at it, look at it, yeah, man." Oh, you deleted most. You had, God, why would you do that? You had good videos, man. Crud. Every once in a while, if I didn't have anything to do, I'd pull out an old Silver New Jack video and look at it.
Yeah, the whole time Todd's going, well, my stack is bigger than your stack.
He still got the whole stack. I bet Silver New Jack has 3 times the stack I do, or more.
All right, Todd.
He's one of those guys that lives good, plays good, works hard, so he can.
Well, you're right on that passport. Too much wealth showing. People look at all the crap that we show on the reselling show, and they're thinking all they see is clutter. When they're looking at you with a stack of silver coins and stuff like that, that they know what that's all about.
Yeah. Yeah, and you're probably not exactly anonymous if you're doing videos on YouTube, even if all you show is your hands.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I just enjoyed watching your shows. Those were good.
Mr. Sadie, we all know that when you're riding around that estate fixing things, that's not your boss. Well, it is your boss. She just sleeps on the other side of the bed with you. That's your place. Oh, did you find your new beer?
Did you see that that picture that Roman put up about the Coors Light panties?
Uh-uh.
Oh, I think I put it, or I may not have put it in our group. I don't think I kept it either.
He switched to Bud Light. Oh, Light switched to Bud Light. Now, which one is it that's got the Herm on it?
It's Bud Light.
Is that Bud Light? Well, that's all that's doing is driving people over to the IPAs. The people that really care about such. I'll just go here and get me from the local brew house, get me a 6-pack, 12-pack.
All right. Passport X, Silver New Jack. You still got videos on there? Well, not very many. You took most of them down, but you left some of them. Okay. Your last video was a year ago now. Jeez.
You know, Mr. Sadie, I just can't understand people tampering with a major income source like that one brand of beer was. Just trying to be PC. Just do like the rest of the beer makers are doing. Just keep your mouth shut and keep producing what people want to drink. You know, I've talked about it before. The Washington Redskins, they pissed off a lot of supporters when they changed the name, just trying to be PC. You know, the Atlanta Braves are still the Atlanta Braves because all that that Native American crap they sell to all the kids is produced by the Cherokee Indians. It's all about money.
Yep.
Here are the top 100 beers in the U.S. Is the Milwaukee's Best in the top 100? Because that's got to be one of the top sellers. Because on a Friday afternoon, if you go into the grocery store around here, you'll see these guys going out of there with a case or two in their buggy and spend a total of $10. Vanilla Bean Assassin. Ugh. Oh, these are all IPAs. One of the cruise ships is starting up their own board brew house. One of the big ones. I don't know any of those beers on that list. Which I'm not a big beer drinker anyway.
Mushrooms. I understand if you're a good mushroom hunter, you can make some bucks.
Joanna, you still in there? Oh yeah. Yeah. Joanna's got some mushroom, or she did have some mushroom hunting videos on her channel.
Oh, she did?
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand you can make some pretty good money just like picking morels.
And up in the North Carolina mountains, there's a couple up there that go for a lot of money.
Bourbon and wine collection.
You know, I remember back in the day, what was the beer that you could only buy in Denver? Smoking the Bandit was about it. Coors, that's it. Thank you. I remember when you couldn't buy Coors in the Carolinas.
Yeah, that was the whole theme of the show.
Yeah, if people would go out to Denver driving, or Texas, or wherever the nearest area was that had Coors, they would bring back a dadgum carload. Coors, yeah. Because that was supposed to be so good, and then you drank it and it tasted like water.
Yeah, Coors Light kind of tastes like water, but the regular Coors is pretty good.
So you can use them as a quote protein unquote. Morels dipped in eggs, rolled in crackers, then fried in butter. Yummy.
Yeah, but you can't afford to eat them. You can sell them for like What, $40 a pound?
And apparently, there's no way you can actually cultivate them.
Get you a herd of pigs. Get you a herd of truffle hunting pigs. That's got to be fun.
What was that restaurant? What did we eat? Oh, on the island, Royal Caribbean's island, Coco Cay. They fry all their French fries in truffle oil, and it's kind of nasty tasting. When you eat French fries, you're supposed to eat salt, a taste of salt, and nothing else.
There's also a show on Discovery Channel. What were they hunting? Some kind of spice. What was that?
Ginseng.
Ginseng. Yeah.
Yeah, that's supposed to be really profitable if you have the property to, to hunt on and actually will grow it. Because, like I said, you can't cultivate it; it has to grow on its own.
Yeah. They made a drama out of that show from the get-go. There were people fighting over ginseng.
Oh, they would shoot each other.
Yeah, it's like the Hatfields and McCoys getting after each other.
Flag. You're not right, son. Joanna, are those videos still up?
Was that Mr. Sadie Lag? I saw that video.
Yeah, but Mr. Sadie doesn't drink Bud Light. He drinks. What's that girl drink he drinks?
Miller, Miller Ultra.
Something. Yeah.
That was Kid Rock.
Well, y'all check out Joanna if you're interested in a mushroom hunting deal. Check out Joanna's channel. And mind you, they spend the day and they don't have a truckload of mushrooms. If they have a good beer box full of them, they're doing good, which is the norm from all the videos I've seen across YouTube. It's a lot of work for the money you get.
That deal. Anheuser-Busch has shot themselves in the foot. I'm telling you.
Like I said, these companies just need to stay out of all that social stuff and stick to what product they're making. Because the people that's buying their product, probably really doesn't care as long as they can get their Milwaukee's best
Clearly
without.
They do care, or they wouldn't be working
on it. It's probably good exercise out walking in the forest and bending over and digging and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, the kids probably sleep good when her husband takes the kids with them out hunting. They get home and they go to bed and go to sleep. And I can never remember what your husband's name is, Joanna.
All right, folks. I think we're about to shut her down. And we'll transfer over to the awesome and incredible Tom. Oop, wrong way. Tom.
Yeah, I know. I got to come up with a show tomorrow now after you've had this one here today. You've set the standard this week.
Anyway, no, I just had a concerning topic I wanted to mull over with y'all.
And a good topic it is.
Use cash. Go to the
Carry
grocery
the
store
exact
and
change
pay
with
cash.
you, though.
Don't use the self-checkout. Use the teller line and pay with cash.
Well, around here,
be an American. You be an American, a real American.
if you try to use, if you wait for a checkout counter to come open, you might be standing there till you're 100 years old around here.
Quit using your dang debit card so much, you crazy fools. It's all going to go away and you're going to wish it came back. I promise you. All right. We'll leave it
Bye.
there. I said my piece. Rant over.
Have a great day.
Dusty used to say.
Yeah.
I'm slipping. Used to be we were about nonsense. Now we're about topics.
Yeah.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.